You know, I love documentaries, and mainly because you go into it and you hope to be educated about something you didn't know prior. In this case, it was something truly special because I had knew a face, never knew a name, but then now learning this individual's just how much they contribute to what horror is today, and just flat out all their contributions to acting in general is nothing less than legendary, and I gained such an appreciation for them. So I was very, very excited upon completing this documentary, and I can't wait to talk about it. So let's jump into it now. My review of the new documentary, Boris Karloff, the man behind the monster. What's up, folks, and welcome back to the channel today for another review. And today we're going to be reviewing the documentary Boris Karloff, the man behind the monster, which is coming to Shudder, exclusively premiering January 27th. And this is one you don't want to miss, because whether you know his name, some of the properties that he has been involved with, you absolutely would know at least one. I mean, everyone knows Frankenstein, right? I mean, that's the one. But no, it's more beyond that. So I'm talking about his contributions from properties such as Frankenstein all the way up to How the Grinch Stole Christmas. You know, a 60-year career of just being in film, on stage, you know, all the different roles that he played, and again, just his contributions to horror and thriller, again, is nothing less than legendary. And I had never knew the name, I knew the face, and I absolutely knew the voice. His voice is so iconic. But really to get a glimpse into his background, you know, learning about his childhood upbringing, the challenges that he's had with that, you know, from England to the States and back, and again, 60 years, I believe, going back into like the 1920s, the early 1920s, and up until his death, just gave so much at a high rate, regardless if they were roles that he liked or he favored, regardless if they were like well recognized, and regardless whatever it is, you never heard a bad thing about him besides him just wanting to do more, be better, and just really leave an impact. And I mean, like, those are goals, you know, when you want to talk about being legendary, these are the tries that you make in order to do so, you know. And again, from Frankenstein all the way to How the Grinch Stole Christmas, and then the sub-genre category in horror, the silent horror, and how iconic he was in some of those roles, you know. And even when horror was going through like a stock market crash of ups and downs upon when Hollywood deemed it to be worthy, and you know, when studios wanted to invest in horror and then they didn't, you know, he went through it all, and he was really part of the renaissance of horror getting back to top tier, you know. So, you know, he's gave so much. And then with this documentary, we got tons of great original footage, still pictures, audio interviews, and recordings from him. And then testimony and interviews from all sorts of people, historians, other notable people in film that he's worked with, and people close to him, like his daughter. You had Ron Perlman, you had Guillermo Del Toro. You know, you had these folks that, you know, that knows a thing or two, really speaking highly about him and really getting into the weaves of his career. I mean, his emotions, his sacrifices, everything. And I mean, you know, even performing on Broadway. And I think the biggest thing about his story that I learned was, like, even at times where he may not have felt most qualified, because he totally didn't want to do Broadway. He was like, that's New York. There's no way. I'm way outside my league here. And then he goes up there and kills it. And I mean, it's just like, first thing that spoke to me is like, this is exactly what you want to do. When you get an opportunity, you bet on yourself and you do the best you can, and you just never know what the results may be. And he's just a walking embodiment of it over and over and over. And I think, like, blowing expectations is always a great thing, right? Much like this documentary, because I really didn't know what to expect. I'm thinking we're going to get like a deep dive into Frankenstein for about an hour and a half, and it was way beyond that. way beyond that. And I gotta say, man, cinema back in the 30s and 40s was just so special. The acting, the aesthetics, going back looking at how Frankenstein and how even when you're talking about silent horror, how one could project emotions by just blinking. And he was so good at that at times. Gives you chills by just giving you a stare, very good at his craft. And I mean, all the way from the beginning to the end, he was just genius. Completely genius. Even when his health started to fail. I mean, when you look at some of his work in the 60s, again, it's nothing less than pure legendary. Hearing the stories about him being bonded by a wheelchair, but when it's time to perform, he gets up out of it, he rips off his oxygen mask, and he gets to work. I mean, it's heroic. It gives you chills, Even it's not even a horror film, it gives you chills. Like, man, this guy's supernatural or something, But again, I went into this, knowing the face, not a name, and I just grew so much deep appreciation for who he was. And what he was all able to accomplish and bring to this business, and what makes it what it is today. Such a great actor, and truly one of the godfathers of horror. So look, check this out, folks. Boris Karloff, the man behind the monster, is going to be on Shudder January 27th. Jump in the comments and let me know your thoughts about this. Let me know what other experiences and stories you may have. Again, I'll be the first to say that I was a little bit late to putting it all together here, but that's what a good documentary does. It educates you and gets you up to speed, and then you tell another person and another person. That's what your job is. Tell some folks to check this out. But yeah, jump in the comments, let me know your thoughts, folks, and I'll see you around for more reviews very soon. Big old bell.